Welcome back, everybody. So today is the 8th week, and we will cover some parts of JavaScript. I'm on 30 days of JavaScript. I hope you will see my screen and things we didn't cover. Writing clean code, even it is, I wrote something about how to write a clean code, and I strongly recommend you to come here and check how does that look like. It's a very little information. I have to really add extra more information to make it more more usable. As you can see, I have mentioned Airbnb style, Google style. When it comes to JavaScript, Airbnb style is more preferable than Google anyway. But I think I recommend you to come. But so far, actually, we follow a very good standard of writing codes. Yeah, so today we will see sets and a regular expression and fetch. So I think I have to go to Visual Studio Code and let's organize ourselves there. Yes, this is the CSS lesson I had yesterday. It was not closed, so let's close it. And then we will not be. Yes, and open our, what is that? The file is already, oh, that's too slow. It seems this is our folder, our project folder, so let's get it. Oh yeah, great. And then as usual, let's create a folder week 8. Yeah. I don't see the week 8. Where is it? What's happening here? Oh, that is very slow. Nice. Anyway, finally we had it. Now let's see a note if we, yeah, because we decided to have the lesson today, somehow an abrupt kind of a plan. So let's put what are we going to cover today? Remind me, I wrote about fetch and I wrote about promises, either to keep our promise or to break it. And then we saw also set and map and
hoisting.
Hoisting, and that is also let const and var. Also, it would be nice to really put it in this order because var was the original.
Yeah, regular expression.
A regular expression, that's got a lot of things, so we have to get it faster. And something else,
function declaration.
What?
Function declaration versus arrow function.
Function declaration. Declaration in versus arrow function. Yes, so it seems a wide topic, but the order might vary, but we will have a chance to look at it. Okay, great. I want to get some of the data we had from this. If you remember, guys, we do this. If you remember, this the country, world country data, and let's run and see what we had actually. Oh yeah, this is what we had. And if you write, for instance, Finland, as you can see, we have one output. And this output is so strange, so it's better if we add some information there when we have, right? Yeah, like what is this one? No one knows. Maybe if we look for Swedish, let's search by the language. You remember this, right, already? I hope everybody remembers. Yeah, of course, we have new guys. So you can also keep on this. I think this is already a very good application. And even you can do it or change it to a different. It has population, it has landmass. The landmass means the area, the square meter of a certain country, the width of a width or the area, actually, the area of a certain country. The most populous nation, you can use, you can add visualization using JavaScript. Or, yeah. Okay, great. But since I'm not happy with that, is this the, yeah, I want to add some information with the value we get when we search. That's a random decision, but this one, Swedish, what is this, 3, yeah? So we have to give it some informative, you know. I think it's coming from, let's see what we have here first. This is result. I think we see it from the result. So I have to go to the result, text content, and countries. Also here, typo. But where did we put result? I have to look for, yep, here, the filtered, yep. Now, guys, I think you are very familiar with the search. I mean, what's the result based on the search term is, and then now we can inject it. Yeah, it was just minor thing. Now we can have you seen? Now, if I ask you, for instance, to change it to a singular and plural, the result based on the search term is 1. The result based on the search term are something like, you can even change this is, and it's even so easy to do that, by the way, but I will leave that for you. Okay, thanks. Then now today, what we are going to do actually, we do this using fetch, yeah? So what do I need? Okay, I need this quote. I take it, so copy. I think if I copy, the new guys would not have a chance to learn, so we have to rewrite this code all over again, yeah? Shall we do that? Yes, we can write it. So if we are fetching, so we have to have API. Do you remember the country's API? Yeah, this one. So let's go to somewhere here. All this one gives us all the countries. If I open it, yeah, this is the all the data you see there. Yes. So let's, if you close, as you can see, someone asked the good data structure. As you can see, it is a list of objects. And if you go all the way down, you can see that it is about, oh, actually, I didn't go even all the way. Yeah, this is the, yes, it's a bit too much data. Okay, then we copy here. So we don't have to copy, we can start from fresh. Let's stop this one, and then we have to create an index.html. Great, and then let's just, this one is changing because I'm using other programs too, so let's just change it to pure, okay, HTML. Great. I call it fetching data from API, but it doesn't make sense. It is okay. Countries data or world countries data. Great. Now let's start this file, just maybe countries, just to put some data and run it. Yeah, countries, great. Then we have to have some script. By the way, we've been just writing scripts right away. Even let's put some kind of, we can call it scripts, so, or JS, and our script will be in that folder. Yeah, scripts. Yeah, but it's not a folder anyway. I have to make it a folder. But maybe just not to complicate, I can just write it just main.js or script whatsoever, okay? Now let's say const the URL, and I'm just putting the API like this. But I think when I was copy, I didn't select everything. This is the API. So we have a plan to fetch the data from this. Then now let's connect this main to here. Script. Okay, and source. Is it clear so far?
Yeah.
Great, because we've been doing this kind of things quite many times. Then next, what I should do, I have to see some console.log. Let's see it on Google Chrome. Yeah, because that's how we know if it's connected or not. Control-Shift-I. And if you see, yeah, we're connected. Great. I think it's better if I put it to one side and this, yeah, great. Now let's fetch this data. How do we fetch it? And we don't need this also. Actually, JavaScript gave us this, the fetch API or a fetch object like this. So this takes, the first will be URL. We're fetching it from here. Really? Yeah, but after, if you say, for instance, you can put it const fetched data. You can store it after that. And let's see what we can get from there. Console.log fetched data. As you can see, you just got some kind of function. So that's not yet ready. And this is not how we get it. After we fetch, actually, it has a kind of a then. It's a function. Then is, as you can see, it's a kind of a method that allow us to interact with the URL for the fetching. And we call it this response. Because, we want the response as in a JSON. Hey, I want you as a JSON. I am writing explicit function, as you can see. I can even make it a more longer way, and you can call it this one also function, yeah? And now you are familiar with that. And even you don't have to have this, yeah? Yeah, it's still going. Now, actually, we are fetching it and get it as, actually, I have to return it, yeah, return. And then again, then, yeah, when some people say, you know, when you tell a story, something happened. And then this thing happened. And then, so first, we talk to the server, the HTTP server using fetch, and then we get the data as an JSON. Now, then, actually data, you can call it anything. Now it's the time to get the data. Console.log data. Oh yeah, all the 250 countries are here now. And then actually here, catch, you may say, if there is error, console.log the error. Let's do some error, for instance. Instead of all, let's just add an additional L. Yeah, syntax error, unexpected end of JSON input. Have you seen this comes from here? Maybe I think it has also, this object has message. Let's see, just if, yeah, now as you can see, only the message. Unexpected end of a JSON input. Or we can just get the object also here. And now let's fix this. If we fix it, we just get the whole data. Yep. So now to interact with the, now it's our plan is actually to render it here, all the countries. Then we have to have some container. Yeah, so not to do everything all over again, let's copy some of the HTML structure from the previous code. Is it what? Okay. HTML week 7. Only the HTML part, okay? I don't take, this does sound something different. It should be this one. Yeah, this one. So we need a header. Yeah. Okay. So we need the header. I'm copying and I will ask you, we don't need this. Okay, is it okay now? Is it okay? Do you understand this? You have a header, and inside the header you have a title, and this title doesn't have any value because we didn't get data yet. And it has also some result. So you understand this part, I hope. Okay, I have to explain at each stage. And then what else do we want? Yeah, we need also this. I will explain to you what it means. We need a container to render all the countries, if you remember, all these countries. And we need also input to have a search bar. That is the reason we need this, yeah? This is going to be the container. Now, as you can see, our search bar is not good, but we can borrow actually the CSS we wrote. Writing CSS is tiring, and I hope you don't expect me to write CSS here, yeah? And then I will add it here at the top over here. And then right away, we will have search by country, name, language, and city. Do you think I will get something if I search now?
No.
No, of course no, because we didn't do anything. Yeah. Yeah, sometimes I want to ask such a silly question. Yes. Okay, great. Now we have the skeleton, we have the framework, and let's go to our main.js and write, yeah, what? Then actually anything you write, something like this, has a global scope, container, document.get, element by ID. And what was the name? I think it's container. Yes, I forgot. Is it a class or what did we get it? Yeah, it's an ID, so great. And then we have also this result, const result document.get element, or you can go for query selector. You know the difference, guys, now. Not by tag name, by ID. By ID. And you can give it result. Yeah, great. So now if I want to, for instance, render, if you see this, it's if you say container dot text element, text content, and if you say data dot length. Oh, have you seen? Huh. Some good news. we managed to put it there. Okay, but it's not what we want. Instead, we want to create countries. Last time, if you remember, to create a countries, we used such kind of a very well structured schema. Why it's not? But which one was it? Yeah, it's just so small that it was okay. Yeah, this one I was looking for this one. So I want to take this and then I will explain to you there. Rewriting will be very tiring, so I chose to be a copycat today. Okay, do you see this? It's a div. Inside the div, we have two divs. And I want to ask you now again another silly question. How many children does this div have?
2.
Yes. Well, this one and this one. Great. You managed to really notice it. So as you can see here, we are creating a kind of a skeleton. We have one div external inside. We have for name, for capital, for population, and at the bottom we have the flag. Instead of doing this, actually we can do it here. So I can loop through this, but I think I can just comment this out here for the time being our code, and let's do some kind of loop here inside, because you got the data here. So we can go for, I am in favor of this, what is this, for of, yeah, country of data. We can then print console.log and the country. And then I will show you on the, if you see now, you will see all the countries object from Afghanistan to Zimbabwe. Yeah, I will check you from Afghanistan to Zimbabwe with no ticket. Yeah, have you seen them? All of them? Yeah. Last time, Julie asked me that what's the best data structure? Actually, arrays. And inside arrays, you put objects and you can iterate it, you can structure whatsoever. Now, we are in a good shape to render this data to the browser. Okay, and what she said, actually, I'm also in love with destructuring data, as she said. Now, we don't have to, we can destructure it right away. Okay, maybe I can show you here, destructuring. Honest, and then what are we interested in? The name of the country, the capital, capital, and the population. From where? From each country. And then console.log, a name, capital, and then population. Such a long word, not really. But now I'm not interested in this one. Let's, have you seen now? We managed to print all of the countries. Some of the countries are really hard for me to pronounce them. Afghanistan, Kabul, and they have this amount of people. Yeah, this is a long way of destructuring. Actually, you can take this and then you don't have to write it here. We can put it here and you are actually destructuring it while you are looping at, yep. This is what Julian was talking about, Julia. And then now actually we can also do this. Now as you can, we are doing console.log and everything is on the console, but we need it to be here. Okay, we can take this, where? Here. So every time what we should do, we inject this data. And do what? Because we have this container. But I think that's not even a very good idea, because first we have to just append them. So we can have this kind of let content, and we can just make it empty. And then let's append that content and equal to like a short way of appending. And now actually name goes to here, capital goes to here, population goes to here. After we did all the append, we can do outside the loop. Where is the loop? The loop, we don't need this line. The loop ends here. When the loop ends there, container dot inner HTML, we give it the content. And by now, at least I was expecting something here, because I forgot to destructure flag. And because of that, it failed. I think this seems somehow familiar to you. Yep. What do you think, guys? Yes.
Yep.
Then I think even now, instead of writing this skeleton, let's write this outside as in a function. I call it some kind of corners. They create a country UI. Just a fancy name. It looks like just a built-in something, and return this UI. And then this should take it destructured the destructured data. So I may just put this value where? Here, as in destructured. And then I can call actually the country, create country UI. Create country UI, and then I can just pass the country. Now, instead of destructuring, I can just const country, because the destructuring is happening here. Yeah, here. Just to make it, then you have a chance to see. Now, what we did actually, we fetched from API. So if those guys who are working on this API, if they change the data, for instance, the population of the countries every time changes, if they update the population, without any change, we will see the change here. Yeah, they changed one place, everyone using this API also get the update. So this is how you use fetch. Let me show you. First, then is actually you are getting the response from the request as in a JSON. And then we are accessing the JSON from here. If you just say console.log, you will get the data. But this could be any name, okay? You can call it countries, you can call it cryptocurrencies, or you can call it whatever you want, but depend on what you are fetching, yeah? Let me show you, maybe it looks some countries also. If you say that countries, then we have to also call these countries, yeah? And it should still work. Yes. So this is a fetch, and it's very, very important. And now there is one thing. Can I use? There are some can I use, okay? Can I use is a website that tells you if something is good to use, or maybe if it is supported by many browsers. Let's see fetch if it is good to use it now. Support 95.49% of the browsers support fetch. So almost all. Let's see. Forget about Internet Explorer. Who cares? Anyways, I'm just kidding, guys. Care for everything, because you never know about your client. They may use different browsers, so it's good to also consider browser compatibility. But almost Chrome of all the new versions, like now the latest version of Chrome is, as you can see, 99 up to 93 they support. Even starting from this, it's support. Firefox support. And the new Microsoft, the Edge support. What is this? Opera Mini? Yeah, I don't know. This one doesn't. Safari, Opera, and other many of, as you can see, we have lots of browsers you don't know, on mobile versions also. There is also one browser, they call it this Brave. Do they have here? Yeah, but there is a good one, and lots of people do have a very positive. Yeah, even last time there was in the reactor or somewhere, they have this a vacancy. They mentioned that someone who check can I use every time. That means you're really curious about new releases and you are interested to use something after you check if it's really supported. And if it's not supported, also you can use different tools to make it browser compatible. Yeah, and make use of the available features. Yeah, now can we change this to async and await? There is also this async and await code. What does that mean? I will tell you. Because this code, as you can see, the fetch, sometimes it's not a kind of a code. It's not nice to write then something. And you may not like to write it that way. So you may write it differently. So then in that case, let's change it to async and await. Okay. Then if that's the case, I have to change it to async and await. I can write async await.js. Even I think I can have a copy of this. I can call this also copy and paste. I call the first one fetch. Yep. And I can call this async await. And this should be also called fetch. And we have to change the name here too. Did you understand? Because this will help you to reuse it again, yeah? Now let's work on the new file here. Maybe I have to stop once and start running this specifically. What error? Yeah, great. Async and, oh yeah, I will have to change this to async await. Async and await is the kind of waiting until something happens. Okay, I think before I talk this, do you know synchronous and asynchronous? Who can tell me the literal meaning of synchronous and asynchronous? I think even that might be difficult for you to understand, but I will show you here. Yeah, it's empty. Let's just, I may write something here. JavaScript code usually goes like this, from top to bottom. First, it runs this, and then the second one. And then it just goes the second. And then it goes like this. That is synchronous. That means this will never happen before this. We call that synchronous. Asynchronous is the opposite. This code might happen, this code may happen before this. because if the execution time of this one is longer than, this doesn't wait until this finish. Did you get the idea, guys? Or maybe another way, I usually like explaining it using the cafeteria or something, you know? You went to a cafeteria and you order something to eat, but the cooking might take a bit longer than until your order ready. You may eat some snack or something to drink. That we call that async. So you are not idle. You are doing something until something gets ready. How about this? Or maybe when I'm teaching, if I'm teaching too slow, maybe you might do something side by side, because I'm too slow that you can process two things at the same time. So you are a kind of multitask. How about that? Okay. Who get this async idea? Did you get the idea of async, guys?
I think so, but do you have can you show us an example of in code?
Yes, I'm coming to the examples.
Okay.
If you have the idea like that, it's an example. Okay, let's do something. Console.log. Oh, please stop. Console.log. I think before that maybe set interval. No, set timeout. Yeah. I may say console.log. I will come after 3 seconds. Console.log. I will go and wait for you there. Now let me show you this code. Yep. Have you seen the order of execution, guys? Yeah, actually, yes. Have you seen the execution order?
Yeah, it's confusing.
Yeah, this one comes first, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
This comes first, but according to procedural or synchronous, this has to come first, not this one. Even now, let's give it some delay duration after. Yeah, I will go and wait for you there. After, yes. Now, as the food is ready, or the person who've been waiting show up. This, we call this async. We are doing something and we are just processing in parallel. Yeah?
Yep.
Great. This is the idea. And the purpose of also this promise, we call this then. If you see then, it's a promise call. The first, when we see that, because where was the first? Yeah, fetch. Then is a promise call. Hey, fetch data, and the fetching is actually sending a request to the server, and then get it as in a JSON file. Okay, after that, then get it. There are different scenarios, requesting and getting answer. What if the request doesn't work? If the URL or the link is broken, or if there's no internet. So this kind of a promise, we call it a promise. Promise, okay. What's the promise? Why they call it promise actually? Because promise can be promise can be fulfilled or rejected. You may keep your promise, or maybe you may break your promise. It's the same as that. Okay, and if not, this fulfilled or rejected, or it could be pending. Let me tell you some example. For instance, you may tell to your kid or your children to buy something. Yeah, so that means you gave a promise. You gave a promise. The promise, when are you going to buy? Maybe next weekend, you may want to take them to some amusement park. Yep, they've been waiting and waiting. So promise has waiting. Then it's not fulfilled, it's not rejected, but it's pending because the time is not yet there, and the kids are also waiting that day eagerly. So we call it pending. But at the weekend, if you take them to the amusement or the recreational center, that means you fulfilled your promise, and they will be so happy. Yeah. If you just do something else instead of keeping your promise, and then it's a kind of rejected, and there will be kind of resentment between the kids and you. Yeah. Did you get the analogy somehow? So what does that really mean when it comes to coding? I will show you that. This is how it works. Let promise, and then we can say new promise. Promise, this with a capital letter, we have it as in, and then you can write resolve and reject. These are by themselves an object, and the function I'm writing here is actually okay, let me show you. I have to keep this like this. Yep. So I have to maybe destroy this. This is the promise constructor. The promise constructor take a callback. Do you remember a callback, guys? We just learned a week ago when we were learning hard. Okay, maybe I have to also show you callback again, because callback, yeah, const make square. And let's do the simplest way. Name and num n times. Is it easy to? Yeah, you are okay with this line, right? A one-liner function.
Yeah.
Of course, you should be, guys. And now let's make a cube. To make a cube, for instance, to make a cube, console.log, make square. What's the square of 2?
4.
Yeah, but which file am I working on? Yeah, I think I should be in the other file because we don't need this. Someone said 4. Yeah, yes, but to make this a cube, what can I do? Just multiplying it with the same number, yeah? Because this is already cube. If this is 3, I make it this also 3, and it will be 27. So we're making a cube here, right?
Yep.
Good.
Yep.
Then we can also, this is nuts, so we are more in favor of using a function. So make cube, honest, make cube. And then this make cube takes actually a parameter and a callback, and it returns callback or n times callback. And this callback also takes the parameter. As you can see, I have been multiplying it outside. Now I just changing this. Actually, will take this. Then let's make use of console.log make cube. Make cube takes a parameter, maybe 2. And then the callback is going to be make square. As you can see, it's 8. How about 10? I should get 1000. Yeah. This is a callback. Or if callback is so annoying for you, you can call it func. So anyway, this is going to hold, just a placeholder of a function. Great. With having this, now let's talk about promise. Let's declare a promise. This is just, you can call it promise, you can call it any name, okay? And then we can use the promise constructor, and this take a callback. But since I'm not going to use this callback, I just write it inside here, function. And this callback actually has also 2 objects, resolve and reject. Yeah. Then let's say console.log resolve, and then I think it takes a parameter, promise fulfilled. Or even let's just do also console.log reject a promise. Rejected. Just follow me, then we will see. Then as you can see now, I have this promise, and let's print what's happening in here. Console.log promise. Oh yeah, as you can see, the promise is actually, it has a kind of object, yeah? It is a kind of object. You can't access it. To access this promise, we have to use a then call. So we had to say dot then now. Have you seen some pending? Yeah, I will show you. Before it was a kind of, let me show you. Now we saw the object. This object has fulfilled. The reason why fulfilled, because it has already, if it's like a promise doesn't return 2 things, it returns 1, either a pending or fulfilled or satisfied or rejected. So if I change the order, actually it will be rejected. Having a promise rejected, yeah? So it's a kind of, but what is this? A30, promise rejected, yeah. Okay, I think we don't see that. Yeah.
We need to switch the parameter position too at the same time?
No, you don't. That remains the same. So this is just because once if it executes something, the promise knows that no need to do anything else, because the resolve is a function. When you are doing anything using the resolve or the reject, it's a return function by itself. It returns something. If something returned from a function, it's a kind of a break. It doesn't go to the next. Yeah, did you remember, guys? I have a function, yeah? You are forgetting, guys. Function, name, I have whatever, return something. If I write anything after here, it doesn't like return this. So this resolve takes as a parameter, as you can see, and then if we return something from here, so this promise is over, and if we're returning from this, it's just over. But if we are not returning anything, for instance, now it should be actually pending. Let's show you it should be pending. Have you seen the pending? Have you seen the pending?
Yeah.
Yeah, I told you, like, if you have a kid, that's a very good example to remember this forever. Just give a promise for your kid to take them to a recreational center by the weekend. They will be so happy. They wait those days happily. Yes, that means nothing happened, pending, yeah? That's the pending until the weekend. Then if you take them, because when it comes to a promise, either you keep your promise or break it, and it's just only one. And now let's imagine that you're such a nice person and you kept your promise, and let's see, yeah, the promise object has a promise fulfilled. How about if this happened, a promise rejected? How about if we have both? Undo, and let me remove, because since this resolve is a function by itself, if this happens, this will never happen, because we don't have two things at the same time. Breaking a promise and keeping a promise never happen at the same time. So that's how the promise works. Well, what is this thing do with? Yeah, because it's somehow related to a network. Whenever we communicate with a network, you never know what's going to happen, you know? Maybe it may be you may have a success to fetch the data or not, or there is a delay, you know, that network might be slow. So that's also still a pending. The data might not exist. And then actually that is a kind of a failure. It's not there. A delay could be a pending, or it could be rejected because of some access restriction, those kind of. So does it make sense? Can you make a connection with the promise you gave with the kids? So this is how it works. And then actually now, how can we take out this value from the promise object? Then we can say value maybe console.log value. Yeah, a promise fulfilled. Have you seen? I got the promise fulfilled. And maybe if I just turn on this one, if I comment the other, yeah, why pending, a promise rejected. Yeah, then I have to go the second one. Then again, another value, this value, console dot log this value. A notary property then. Yes, so because we don't have much code, so it may not go. Can we?
When do you need to use those promises? Is it like, it's like kind of an if clause, but you can just test like something and do something?
For instance, okay, now reject, when you are rejecting, I couldn't -2. Yeah, actually, let's see the catch. e console dot log e. I was expecting.
Sabine,
Yes.
do we need a separation for those two console output, like semicolon, in order to separate them, or it doesn't matter?
Semicolon?
Semicolon in between those, the resolve and the reject console statement.
Here?
No, just the console statement.
Oh, you mean here? Yes, yes, even I think even let me just yes, thank you. I have seen now something. Yeah, thank you. Yes. In the console, yeah, even because I was trying to show you the whole promise by consoling. Now if we are doing a console.log like this, it's better to do it separately, and I think now we may achieve, as you can see, a promise fulfilled. Now maybe the second then call can give us a value here. Console.log value. Of course, it's still a promise is fulfilled. Now let's see the reject. Promise rejected. Yeah, it's printed out actually here. Even is it coming out from? Let's see console.log. Here. No, it's not printed out. So we didn't reach to the. Yes, we catch it with a catch, not a promise rejected, because it has just one step. We managed to get the then call, and then when it's something wrong happens, the reject, we catch it as an error. I will come a promise rejected. So this is how we manage to fetch the data. If you have seen, fetch, then one, and then the country. So if you have many promises, one after another, you may have lots of then, but in this case, now we have just only one promise, then, and we can catch the error. For instance, how do you use this? Let's see skills, const skills, HTML, CSS, and the JavaScript, because let's make sense of this. If the skills.length is greater than or equal to 3, I can say this one. The promise is going to be, I call it, you can attend the React course. You can attend the React course. Else, we can reject this by saying some. We can say these skills, we can inject it. You like injecting using, we may say a very friendly message. We can say skills.join, and then we can say prerequisites. As you can see, you can attend the React course because we have how many courses? All the prerequisites. How about whatever prerequisites. Whatever. Then let's remove the JavaScript and let's see what will happen. HTML, CSS are prerequisites, and we can actually add a space and HTML, CSS, and we want to also add a comma because it doesn't make sense without are not enough. For attending React. Yeah, have you seen now? Because based on the condition, this is also how it interacts with the server. When there's the data, it fetches the data, but if something happens, it tells you that. So there's a wait. So also to fetch the data, it has to wait for some amount of time. So you promise to get data. After you send a request, you wait for some time to grab your data, but it depends on the situation to get your data or not. And that's all about promise. Did you get some idea of the using and the concept on the notion of promise?
Yep.
Yes.
I think so.
And you don't have to write promise by yourself, but to understand, for instance, to use some built-in, it's easy. Most of the time you don't write promise by yourself, but now you got the reason why we are fetching it like this. Then where is this then going to stop? Actually, this is all the time what you need. The first one then to get the JSON, and the second then to fetch the data. And if something goes wrong, you catch it as in error. Great. Oh, I think it's time to have a break of 10 minutes and we should come back after 10 minutes. Yeah, so this promise is very important when it comes to fetching databases, requesting network data like API. So I think I want to save this as a promise because I don't like to destroy it. And then I can just call it promise.js. Yep, then we can keep working on the async and await. But what is async and await then actually? Because the code is actually a bit, instead of getting this data, we can use async and await. Okay, what does that mean? I think a better example, we can make use of the fetch data I will show you. The fetch data, the fetch script when I'm saying this. We can make use of all the code and display that again. Yes. Yep. Now the plan is to write this code differently. Async and await using. To write async and await, whenever you declare a function, you say async function, name of the function, name of func, and then, and then you can use the await inside, await something. That means actually, usually the network, instead of a then something, you say, hey, do something, wait and do, actually wait and do, and it doesn't break right away. So remember to use await, you have to have async outside. If async is not there, await will not be there. And one does not exist without the other, they call it. So they go together all the time. So it's a very simple rule. Okay, then we should have a function called fetch data. Fetch, I can write const, or maybe I can show you like function fetch. It's a custom function, I call it fetch data. And I have to have here async. Then instead of writing this, I can say just this part, copy. Then I can say const response. Yeah, because it was giving me a response. But I have to say await. Await. And then from the response, we can get const data, again, await response.json. So now we don't need this code. So actually we need this one, this part, maybe this part only, and we can destroy the rest. And I can put it here. Yeah, of course it's a function. You have to call your function. You have to invoke it, right? Fetch data. Countries is not defined because it's not anymore countries. It is data. It is data. Yep. Have you seen how we change that code to now async and await? This is more clean, right? There's no this then or something. Yeah, but maybe I think it would be nice for you to compare it in one page. So let me just get back at what we had the previous code. Yeah. Okay, the recent is this. And I have to comment this out. This is a bit messy, but this is clean code. Can we even clean it more? Not really. It's already clean. Yeah, so now we learned async and await. Async and await go together, and the one doesn't exist without the other. Great. What is left? Now let's see our notes. Fetch done, promise done, hoisting we didn't see, and I think before that, let's see the difference between function declaration versus, yeah, even I think it's better if we see also hoisting. Hoisting is actually, let's do hoisting. .js. Then even I can attach it in one of the file, or maybe I think it's better if I have a new file, index.html, and HTML. The reason why I'm having that, for some reason, it's changing to, please keep it there. HTML declare, and we need a script, and I call this, we're talking about hoisting, yeah? Or you can also work on one file. Even we just learn also scope at the same time. Scope, okay. Oh no, Scope means actually it's a level of existence of something or occurring. For instance, what's the scope of the English language, you know? The English language scope is actually, it's a global scope, right? Yeah, our audience, my teaching now, you guys, some of you speak Dutch, and some of you speak French or Italian, and some of Amharic. But you know, since English is global, still we can communicate. So the scope of the English language is global. Okay, let's take the Finnish language. What's the scope of the Finnish language, guys? It's a bit limited, yeah?
Local.
It's local, yes. It has a very local scope. We can communicate in Finnish, inside Finland, and in Sweden. Yeah, and it has a very limited scope. So what is this example then? When it comes to the variables, we have different scope. That is a global scope and a local scope. Now let's see, for instance, if you declare honest and pi, I have 3.14, or you can get it from this, the math object, math.pi. And what do you think the scope of pi? It is global. Anything you declare outside without any curly bracket, it is a global. Yeah. So for instance, when we were talking about this, actually I have to go with this file, this global, this is also declared global, so it can be accessed anywhere. But this also function, this function has a block. This, we call it, the block means this defense or the compound using the curly bracket. This is a block scope, yeah? So by the way, you can use this parenthesis if you want, but you don't have to. How about again this one? This one also have a global scope, but this again, there's a limited scope. If I declare something here inside, let some variable, this will be scoped inside this. It's limited to this block, yeah? It doesn't go anywhere outside that. So that is actually the concept of scope. Now let's get back to here. This is a global. Then maybe if I'm talking if true, or maybe if I have to say let a is equal to 5. If a is greater than 0, then I may say let b is equal to 5, and we can say some result, let result or whatever, a times b, and console.log result. Now I want to ask you, what is the scope of A? Is it local or global?
Global.
It's local. It's local.
Why?
Because it's assigned for.
Yep, I want you guys again to look at what is the scope of A.
Global.
Yeah, it's global. I can access A anywhere in this file, at the bottom, yeah, anywhere, all the way down. But what is the scope of B?
It's local.
It's local. It's already encapsulated inside this curly bracket. I cannot access here console.log. I think I have to connect this file with the, what's the name of, did we create hoisting.html? Where is it? I thought so. Where is it? Hoisting. Yeah, we can create one. No, hoisting. I thought I did. HTML. Why is this happening to me? HTML, and I can change that to HTML, and let's do this. And I think we had one. I forgot it. Where did we create that? Okay, anyway, it doesn't matter. Script, source, and hoisting. Yes. And now let's run this and Control-Shift-I. For some reason, we have that number. I don't know from where that number is coming. Hoisting.js. Yeah, of course, it's 25. 5 times 5, 25. What is the result of A from here? What's the result of A from here? Yeah, I have here, here, it doesn't matter. But how about if I declare let A is equal to 1? Now I'm confusing here. How many A's do I have?
2 of them.
Yeah, 2. This one is global, and this one is local. This exists only in this compound, and you don't get this outside. As you can see, the value of this is 5, but you'll never get this out. What's the value of B here? Console.log. What's the value of B here?
Undefined.
Maybe something else. Yeah, it's related to undefined, but it's not undefined.
Or null. Is it null?
It's not a null. Most probably it's a reference error.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, and code reference error, it doesn't exist. So it's an error. So it's not there. So B only exists in this. We call this scoping, guys. So it's very important to know. So now we are a bit going to the very delicate part of a function. Did I tell you when I was teaching pure function and impure function? You may ask, is there something pure and impure? Yeah, so it's better to talk about pure and impure after a very good understanding of scope. Yes, yeah, I will come to that, but remember that there is pure and impure function, and I would recommend you to write a pure function as much as possible. Pure functions are easy to test them. What does the testing means? You know, sometimes you write a function, but how can you be sure that it gives the desired output? You never know, right? So you need testing. Testing is also another expertise. Yeah, you could be a developer or it could be a tester in a software team. Okay, now you manage to understand scope. The scope of const and let is the same. Yeah, the scope of const and let is the same, but you can't reassign this. Okay, let's try reassigning P here. Pi, maybe I want to be 3.14. Have you seen? Actually, because I have this error, it stopped there. Yeah, assignment to constant variable. We can't do that, okay? But how about can reassign A a to maybe 3. That's possible. Console.log, after that, if you see a is 3, it's not anymore 5, it is 3. And I'm not affecting this a, but the global a. So const and let are all the time scoped to a block code. Yeah, if there is a block code, they will be scoped in that proximity, in that region. So when do we use block code? When we use if, when we use for let I is equal to 0, I less than 3 and I plus plus, for instance, and we have a scope here. Yeah, or maybe a function, xyz, or maybe func, the name of the function, and return something. Yeah, again we have a block scope, a block scope. So a block scope. If I have, for instance, here something, let a is equal to 9. Yeah, it's only inside here. And if I have let b is equal to 10 or 3 or 4, this exists only inside the function. That's very natural to understand, right?
Yep.
Okay, great. But what's then var? But why really care about var? Let var is equal to, no. What kind of var? C is equal to 5. And of course, this only scoped to only to a function, not a block. Okay, that means let instead, okay, let us put it here, C. Can we got the value of console.log C?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think it's confusing that if we change this C to maybe 33, yeah, I found it here. And if you try so, but how about if we move this again to inside the loop? Still I found it. Yeah, it's a sneaky dog, I told you. And if you put it here, but it's scoped to function, you will never get it. Yep. Have you seen the difference now? So let's draw some conclusion. Yes, let and const are block scope or block scope. Block scope means they can be scoped in any block, but var scoped or function scoped, but var is function scoped. Yeah, what do you think? Did you get the idea?
Yep.
Great. Then, so when it comes to hoisting, what's hoisting? Hoisting works only for var again. For instance, I may have x is equal to 5. I have used 5 many times, but 4. But actually, you may declare your variable here at the bottom, var x. Yeah, because this is not working, okay, because of that. Console.log x. Have you seen the value of x? You see it actually. JavaScript works if you don't put any value here, but if you put it like this, that means it can be found anywhere. If you write it something like this. And maybe you can declare it at the bottom, like var x is equal to 4. Gonna access it at the top. Console.log x. As you can see, it's undefined, but you can use it here actually. Like x is equal to, for instance, 3. And now I managed to access the value. Have you seen x? Even though it was there, it's a kind of possible. So we have it here. And if we try to get a value of that, actually it's undefined. Let's also try some example hoisting. We have this here. Now this is okay. So you can reassign it. But this is weird actually. Have you seen it? First, if you do it the same as what I did, so you can declare it at the bottom and use it at the top. So this is possible with var, but it's impossible with colons. And please don't use this kind of writing code. Why you mess with such kind of annoying property of the old hoisting? Yeah, so no importance, not, but it's good to use. Yeah, but if it comes to let, you don't do such kind of a thing. As you can see, reference error. So it goes procedural from top to bottom. So I think it's even in here, they explained that declare your variable at the top. This is a good practice. Yeah, hoisting to many developers an unknown or overlooked behavior of JavaScript. And if a developer doesn't understand hoisting, program may contain big bugs and errors. So what I would recommend you, avoid hoisting as much as possible, no need. And it's ugly, that's what I would say. So that's hoisting, and most of the time it's related with the var, and no need to use var anyway. And if you find an old legacy code, change it to let and const. Great, now let's move on to function, the different functions. Okay. Functions again, functions.js, and again, I may use also functions.html. Then you will have a chance to check what lots of files are here. So I have to just turn them off. Great. And we have to stop that port. And let's run this port. I think I have to go here and run. And of course, here again, we have to create some HTML, but it's still in Django. HTML, change it there. And now I should get HTML. Generate script and src. What is the name? Actually, functions. Yeah. Now everybody knows about. At the meantime, we will revise function. Yeah. How do you write a function? Function, the name followed by a camel case name, func name. Great. And if a function doesn't return anything, it just return undefined. How do we invoke a function? Console.log func name. For instance, if I want to call you, I call you by name, right? Yeah, so let's see this. So what did we run? I thought I ran what I thought. I was expecting this, but something else is running, to be honest. Yeah, let's do this. Yeah, as you can see, undefined. We saw undefined. Let's, instead of that, let's return true. Yeah. Yes, we returned Boolean. You don't have to like do that. 5 is greater than 4. It's a Boolean also. We are returning true. Maybe we can return like, for instance, maybe feeling happy. I'm returning some object, yeah? Or maybe you can return some array 1 to 3. And you should know what you return from a function. Yep, I'm returning. So, or maybe just you can return, I am excited. You can return a string. And you can return even a none. So that is, no, I think none is like this. Null, sorry. How do I write null in?
Lowercase letter.
Huh?
Lowercase.
Lowercase? Yes, lowercase now. Yes, thank you. Yes, so now this is how, or you can also undefined, but if you just leave also this like this without anything, it's undefined by itself. Great, now you know what to return in a function. Yes, great. Now we can change this function also, function expression, by using like this. Yeah, it's a, and I can call it, this is a function expression. As you can see, yeah, or you can change it to an arrow function, yeah. Yes, a very simplified one. Yeah, it's an arrow function. Even sometimes we may need a function, a self-invoking function actually. How, what? Something like this, and you may call it and return, I just love JavaScript. And actually we should have yep. If you see this, what question? Well, and then we can store it, maybe const anonymous function. Yeah, so this is the anonymous function. It doesn't have any name. Yeah, but if you know, if I print console.log anonymous, I should get, I just love JavaScript, as you can see. And even without this, actually, it has to be, it has to give something, because it's a return. But if it was, let me show you, console.log, as you can see, oh, what is the problem here? Console.log and code typer console. Okay, let me see my GitHub. yeah, if we go to functions, by the way, every of the functions is in one day. Function and async as anonymous function should be in one go. I can take this as an example. This is just an explanation. And if we just take this, maybe I can just destroy this. As you can see, what's wrong here? I don't know where. Well, it's not a function. Okay, let's take this out. Okay, let me try it here itself. Yeah, it's working, but what's the problem? Oh, so I think there was something wrong here. Okay. Yeah, we will deal with this one later anyway. Okay, as you can see here, self-invoking function. You don't have to call it. This function executes itself right away. But of course, if you remove this part, it doesn't execute it by itself, but you can, and then you pass, this value will go here and you get 4. If you change it to 10, it should be 100. Yeah, kind of. There's also self-invoking function, anonymous function, and this kind of, they can be used as a callback also, you know, because this is something, and it's similar to like this. You can write it also as in a row function. Okay, great. Now let's get, what's the problem with this line? Console.log. Yeah, it's okay. What's the problem here? I don't see any problem. Console.log. Function name. To be honest, I don't see. Let's click here and see that. Well, does it affect that? Oh, for some reason, the order is affecting, but I have no any explanation for that. I don't have any explanation, but when I was writing here, it was a kind of a blocking thing. Yeah, that's something I don't understand. However, we don't have to. So you may also see or come across with an anonymous function. And now we have an row function. And we have seen also function declaration. Now I may ask you to write a function that take unlimited number of arguments and return the sum of the arguments. Yeah, that means sum all numbers, and you may have 1, 2, 4, 5, 9, 8, 10, and then this function should add and return the value. Let's do this in 2 ways. Function declaration, sum all nums. Yep. And then just let's see what's happening. Console.log sum all nums, and I invoked it. Undefined, okay. let me put 1, undefined, but there is here a global variable, a global object, arguments. We have seen this before also. As you can see, the argument is a kind of object. Whenever you pass some parameters here, you will see it there. Yeah, it's collected here. And you can use for of or regular loop to iterate this. Then let's use for num of, let's see, let or const num of arguments, and let's see if we manage to iterate them. Console.log num. That's a big success. Oh, great. Then we can just sum. Let sum is equal to 0. Usually we start from 0, right? And then I can say, instead of printing them out, sum plus and every num. And then we return the value later, the sum. As you can see, it's 8. So we don't have to have this. Then if you add, for instance, 5, 10, and 25, it sums for you. It gives you the sum, and you no need to print out every stage. Yes. But how about if you use an row function? Okay, let's comment this out, because we are going to use the same function name. I can say const sum all nums, and then this is what I use, right? And then let's follow the same thing. Let's use this, yeah, undefined. But how about if we use this arguments, and do console.log here, console.log the args. Oh yeah, we got a very good array. So we can use for off again. We can just do the same thing. But in this case, instead of arguments, args. The problem is we don't get arguments inside here. Let's try arguments. You don't get arguments inside an arrow function, yeah, a reference here. But you can get the arguments global object inside a function declaration. So this is one difference of function declaration and an arrow function. Yes. When it comes to an arrow function, we use such kind of spread operator to change these values to an array, kind of array structure. Yep. So, but since this is one way, or we can use for each, or we can use actually, since it's an array, you have seen it, console.log args. So we can use also reduce. Yep. Okay, let's comment this out. And instead, let's say, let total is equal to args reduce. Yeah, reduce it, just take A and B, and then you just add A plus B. And then you return the total. I'm a bit faster because we've been repeating. Yeah, we got the same result, but now as you can see, you may not need this value. Even you may just don't have to return it and store it. You can just return it right away there. Yeah. And even you don't have much things inside, and you can just return this value. And you have a very elegant code, shorter than, yep, this code. Great. And we saw one of the difference of a row. And now let's see, and again, let's comment this out. And now let's comment this, and comment. Yeah. How about the value of this, the word, the keyword this? This. Have you seen what it gave me? From a line number 9, I got this object, the window object. Have you seen it? Just the word this in a function, but how about the value of the console.log this? Yeah, actually outside also it gives you just the same result. But what do we get inside a function, an arrow function? Let's see that. Maybe it's good to compare. We can make another like make square arrow function just for that purpose to see the value of this. Console.log this, and we have to invoke. I think, did we use the const? Okay. Then we have to invoke make square. Yep, still we are getting actually the same scope when we are using in a row function, or in the difference comes actually when we are using them in an object. Let's see that. Const person, do you remember object? Guys, do you remember this? First name, John Doe, maybe I can go for that. And last name, Itai. And then let's just get person info. Now, if you use a function now, and I can say console.log this. So to get this, I have to check console.log. And of course, I don't have to say console.log because I have it already here, console. What I can do, person.getInfo. Here, what did I get? Have you seen what I get? The object itself. Yeah, you know this. You should be okay with that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because this is what we know and we have learned this. And another fancy way of writing the same thing, or in ES6, you can remove this and you can also write it like this. It's okay. Yeah? But how about if we write it in as in a row function? What will be this? Oh yeah. Have you seen now? Have you seen now? Now
Yep.
It's referring to the window object. It's not anymore referring to the object itself. That is one of the difference. So there's a scope difference of the word, the keyword this, and this is very important word. And at the same time, you learn the word this. If you write it this here, it refers to the window object. The window object means all the object we are working on the document. And if you refer here, it gives the same result. But if you write it as in an object method, this actually refers an object, the window, but this one refers to the what's wrong?
Double bracket in the function.
Double bracket in the function. I don't see that. Where? Line 35. Okay. I don't know. I can just, if something I don't see, what I can see function. And oh, I forgot the curly, the parentheses, guys. The parentheses. Okay. So yeah, this refers this, the word, the keyword, this refers to this object, but if you change it to another function, the keyword this refers to the window, as you can see. Yeah, that's the difference between a raw function and function declaration. And a minor difference, but it's good to know the difference, and it is an interview question for JavaScript developer or React developer. If you don't answer that for me, I am afraid you don't know JavaScript very well. Yes, it's a kind of no-go kind for a JavaScript or a React developer. Yeah, because it's very important. Great. Yeah, now let's see where we are. I think it's better to have a 5 minutes break. Yeah.
I have a question, Savina.
Yes.
What do we say about lambda function, you know, with respect to Java?
Yeah, we talked about that. That is anonymous function here. Where have you been during the yes, the same similar to or callback also. All the callbacks are also lambda function here.
Okay.
Yes, like in Python, maybe for other guys also it could be confusing, but I can, even if you guys have a problem also to understand CMD, I may just let's say Python. We may say just lambda, like X. Okay, lambda. Please, anything you get, change it to square. Yeah. What? Yeah, I think I forgot, and I miss lambda. Yes, that should be X. And X, this is a square. Lambda is just a keyword, but this is anonymous function. Now, hey, X change 10 to 100, and it will change to 100. And similarly, let's get out from here, and this is Python. Guys, you don't have to think about that. So here, similarly, we did that something like this. This is something what you should do. This is how it goes most of the time. Yep. And then you write a function inside. And inside the function, you do something. For instance, console.log. And you return n. And if you have n times or this, and then if you pass some 10, you get which file am I working on? Oh, why am I? Because this is not the function we are working on, right? It should be here. Again, there's some error for some reason. Person is not a function. Get person info is not a function. Why is it not a function? 44. But is it because of this line of code? Okay. Yeah, it's because of this line of code. For some reason, it's I have seen it's causing some problem, but we can store it like X, for instance. Now, as you can see, I'm not invoking it, but we got the value here. Yeah. If you change it to 5, then you should get 25. So this is anonymous function, and anonymous function does have a kind of a callback. So actually, we can use this and make use of a callback. Yeah, we call it anonymous function, a function that doesn't have a name and we don't want to reuse it, and we just invoke it somewhere inside a functional programming or a higher order function. So yeah, guys, let's have the break and let's get back after 5 minutes. That is still the break is not started. Just 5 minutes, not more than that. Okay, see you soon.
Okay, thanks.
Welcome back after the break session. Now let's move on to regular expression. What's regular expression? Actually, regular expression is a small or a little programming language that you can find almost in every programming language, in Python, in PHP, in JavaScript, and other programming languages. So very powerful, yes. So today we will see how to use, or maybe we may not have time to see how to use, but you will have a very good understanding of this regular expression. So that's the purpose. I go for in regular expression, maybe I think it's good if we have just a file and regex.html, and I will also create regex.js, and let's stop the previous running server and again run a new regex, the regex, and my HTML, please. Please keep it there. So HTML, and we can have the script. And in the script, let's put, what was it? Regex. Great. And now let's run this file again, and we will work on the regex. And it's better to put it the other side, yeah? Now, alert. I love regex. Yeah, we are connected. Most people do not love regex, but anyway, I'm just, okay, good, we are connected. Then let's see what it tells us on the GitHub. How do we, okay, how do you declare a regex pattern? I may show you, maybe I think it's better if I show you in a different way. There's interactive interface for regex. I will show you regex this. Regex, this is how you write. You need this slash and another slash. Do you see this very light slash?
Yep.
If you write a string, you need two colons, right? This a double quote or a single quote or a backtick to make a string, right? Yeah. And to make a regular expression pattern, you need something like this, love. This is a regular expression. What is love now? This is the pattern. I want to look for love in a word. Yes, maybe for instance, if I want to screen someone who said the word, a curse word, some related to some that starts with F words, yeah, some F words, whatever, yeah. If someone say, if so, this is the pattern, and you want to clean that. You want to clean, yeah. Okay, now let's see. Love. Everybody is looking for the word love. So I want to remove the flag. We also add flags, as you can see. Then love is very important in this world. Have you seen love was detected, right?
Yep.
Yeah. We made. But love is something you should have in this world. But you know, how many loves do we have in this paragraph or whatsoever? Two. But how many of them are detected?
One.
Only one. So the reason why now we were looking for just one. So we have to look for everywhere. So we have to make it to global. If I change this to global, it will find it. Have you seen now? We managed to find two. Okay. Love is something that creates everything. Now, as you can see, how many labs do we have?
2. We have more, but it only finds 2.
Yeah, why we found only 2?
Because it's in global.
It's global, but why we found it? Why we found?
Because of the capital.
Yes, because it's case sensitive. Now let's change it. We don't care about case sensitivity, because when it comes to lab, if someone write it with uppercase or lowercase, does it change the meaning? No, right? So we don't care about. Now we manage to fetch or locate all the labs, right? Yeah, and now we used some tool to understand, but how about sometimes you may also find not only one or a couple of things. Let me show you. I love a Java script, okay, I love the Python, but most of the time, I think in JavaScript. What is the love of JavaScript? Okay, then now I'm interested in the languages Python. If I write Python, yeah, we found it, right? But how about if I'm interested to find Python or JavaScript? You can use the pipe operator and JavaScript. Have you seen? So I can look for potato or tomato or banana or an apple. Yep, using the pipe operator. How about if we are also looking for React? Oh, JavaScript makes your life a bit harder. Better to use React. So our pattern looks like this. So I was looking for 3 words, either Python or JavaScript and React, and we managed to detect them. Okay, let's stop. This is not a program you can write and make it part of your code, right? So now let's back to here. Maybe I may have an example already here. So yes, just to make it a bit faster, let pattern. The pattern is going to be lab. Oh yeah. And let's write our regex. Let regex, you can write it in any way. We write it in 2 ways. You can write it like this, and you can put the pattern like this. Yeah. Now let's just close out that log, but it's not, and maybe I think so. As you can see, this is one way, or I think I can follow that new regex and just pattern. I forgot to write this. This is one way, or another way of writing. But here, where shall we write the flag? The flag goes here. The flag means you can make it, for instance, your flag could be let flag. It could be global, yeah? And global and case insensitive at the same time. So your flag goes like this. Yep. Okay, then how do we look for something from that? Okay, let me show you. Then where is our string? I want to write a string here. Our string is here. I have a text. I love JavaScript. Then you may say pattern dot test, and then you pass the what is this? The string. But here I think not the pattern, actually in this case regex. Yeah, then let's see what we can get. Console.log and see the value. Yeah, because we don't have anything there. Regex is not, because I made regex. Yeah, I don't like when I make mistake. Yeah, it's true because we found love in here. But let's maybe we don't have, let's for the time being imagine we don't have any flag. And let's see that we are looking for love. Let's make this love a capital letter. It's false because we care for a case, you know. But if we use this, and if we pass the flag, and the flag will help us to, now it's true. Yeah, great. So test actually allows you just to test if something exists or not. It doesn't do anything. So from test, what you get is just a Boolean, either true or false. Yep. So we saw the test. Now let's move on to the funny, the most interesting part. Yep, that is the match. Okay. In the match, actually, we have this already. So what you should do, stir.match, because a string has a match method already. Inside there, we pass the pattern, in our case, actually regex here. Yeah, then let's see what we get. Maybe we can declare the value, const match. And we're just storing the match there. Console.log, what's the match? Oh, love, because it gives you the match, usually gives you as in array. How about if it doesn't match? For instance, if I add one extra 0, it gives null. You should really be careful. The match gives you an array if it exists, and a null if it doesn't exist. And if you don't know what it returns, your function will break. Yep, correct, a very good point. I love JavaScript. Maybe I was writing something here, and let's try to look for this. Yep, let's put this here. And let's also change our pattern like this. Our pattern is actually something like this. And now, if you see Python, JavaScript, React, we managed to, we managed to extract the patterns we were looking for. Have you seen them, guys?
Yep.
Yep, that is so, that means like if you are looking for potato or tomato, you can change it. Oh, I really love potato, much better than tomato or what? Tomato or anything else. Such a lovely expression. And then now, if you just put also, do that. I think sometimes I select lots of things, and potato or tomato. Yeah, we have one because, and don't you like potato? It's a kind of. Yeah, now we have potato to match, and we have tomato one match. Great. Let's move on. Search. The search actually, the search gives you a kind of an object. Let's see, for instance, if we change this to a search, what do we get? A search. The search gives you the index of the term, the first term. Yeah, as you can see, test for a match in a string, it returns the index of the match. For Python guys, it's a bit confusing with the Python, how this works, but in this case, it just only gives the first. So the potato here is at 14 index, 14 as you have seen it, yeah, 14. And if it doesn't exist, for instance, if it doesn't exist, let's say potatoes and tomatoes, it should be -1. Yeah, okay, great. Let's move on. Okay, then replace is really good. Yep. Let's change this to something else. Love is the most important thing in this world. If you do not love, it is hard to live. So just keep. So just start to love something. Okay. Now let's see how much match love we have. I want to change this to a match again, and you will see the number of loves. What match? Where is match? Yeah, sorry. Then it should be a bit different. String.match. Sorry. String.match. Because this also should be love. By the way, I don't like this way of writing expression, regular expression. I prefer the second way of writing this way. So now let's write a different way. And you don't have to also write pattern whatsoever. You regex in the pattern. So you write something like this. So the love will come here and the flag will come here, GI. And you don't have to have all this. And even you may call all everything this just your pattern. And this makes it somehow easy. Do you know how much? You have only one line, sorry. And then we can say call it here pattern. So I'm in favor of this. I will show you this way of writing instead of this. Yeah. So I'm in favor of this. This is so short and easy too. Now let's see how much love we have. We have 3 love, but maybe at some point, if you are interested to change this, you can change it. Okay. Shall we change love to hate? Oh yeah. Stir, replace all the love and to hate, then let's see. By printing this out, console.log, and see what we get. Love is the most important thing in this world. If you do not hate, have you seen now, without using the pattern, I managed to change at least this one. Love is not anymore love in here, it's hate, as you can see. But if I use the pattern, I will manage to replace all of them. Okay, pattern. Yeah, hate is the most important thing in this world. Oh no, this is a very horrible paragraph. Anyway, we managed to change the love to hates. Yeah. So it's a very powerful method. Then we used what is that? Replace. I think after this you don't have to. I mean, there's no other methods. The methods we have actually test, we test, and the value is either Boolean, that's true or false. And we have match. It's a string method, and the match is actually it's going to be null or array, and search. And the search usually find, it gives you an index or -1 if it doesn't find. And then another replace, it replace a substring using a new string. And yeah, that's the most common.
Sorry, excuse me.
Yeah.
Is it possible to remove word from that sentence with this?
Remove.
Yeah, to remove love instead of replace.
Yes, yeah. So the best way, this is how you can do. Yeah. Now this will really give you empty. Yeah. No, it doesn't exist anymore.
And I have a question also.
Yeah.
How do you do the actual check for the most frequent words?
Yeah, well, I'm coming to that. Okay. So let's see, for instance, I think we have, but before that, let's finish this because it's very important. Okay, now sometimes.
I have also one question, if possible.
Yes.
How do you search like those JavaScript functions, like how they work? Is there some help, or like
yes.
How would you
search? For instance, we are learning a regular expression, right? So you go regular expressions, JavaScript, and then it will take you most probably to this site. MDN, Mozilla Development Network, actually they are the official JavaScript documentation and everything. As you can see, I was using paste, I was using search, I was using replace, I was using match at least, yeah? So you can get readings and even a snippet of code, sample examples from here. Yeah, is that enough? So this is one of, and of course, Stack Overflow is also over there, W3 School. But if you really want to go deeper, go for a Mozilla Development Network. If you just get the idea and to make use of the concept, this is W3 School usually give you a very easy example. Yeah. So first you have to know the terminology.
About the intelligence in the
okay.
About the intelligence.
Yeah. About the intelligence. Yes. About the intelligence. For instance, if we have a string, right? We have the string here. The string. So we have string text. After you write dot here, wait for some time, and you can also go through here, but sometimes if you are not familiar with those, if you don't, for instance, let's see, replace, it's a method for a string, a split to lowercase, length, anchor. I have never used this big, never used that car at, yeah, this is car codat, concat, and match, for instance, we've been using match all, and repeat, search, slice. Yeah, you get almost all, and using just you write dot, and then you are expecting the method for that string. But for instance, test, the way you write test is now it's a bit different. Let's see. First, you have to write the regular expression first, of course. Then you have to write the pattern, log pattern dot. Now, from the pattern also, for instance, here it didn't give me the test. Yeah, because that's somehow very specific, but it should really give test, and then I have to pass the string. And I'm expecting somehow pattern. Maybe I had a typo. That's why maybe I didn't get the pattern and dot test. Yeah, actually it gave me the test. Oh, so yeah, I think whenever you want to make use of the IntelliSense, you may just use the dot and wait for some time, and then string dot or whatever dot, it gives you all the methods you need. Yeah, great, thank you. Okay, good. Before that, now let's do another more. Actually, sometimes we may use, for instance, just forget about this. We also use such kind of operator when it comes to regular expression A, B, C. That means we are looking for either A or B or C. It's not A, B, C together, but A or B or C. So let me check. I love, yeah, A, B, C. So have you seen? We are looking for A or B or C. But we can write it A to Z, A to C, another way of writing A to C. Yes. But if we are interested in any characters A to Z, now as you can see, we select all of them. How about numbers? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are numbers. They were not selected. To select them, we can say 0 to 9. Yeah, that's great. And then maybe space we are not selecting. Maybe you can add one space here, then it will be selected. That's great. Then maybe if you are interested in something A to, for instance, if you want to limit the number, you are interested only 3 items. Yeah, have you seen here only these are matching 3 items, a kind of, but this is a bit confusing. Let me just give you some kind of example. The year was 2021. Not just a number less than 100. Yeah, now I'm interested in just like numbers, writing numbers. Now we have 2 numbers. This is the year and it has what? 4 digits, and this one is 100. So now if I'm interested only in the numbers, I can write 0 to 9. Okay, do I allow space? No, I don't allow space. Okay, have you seen it? This was not selected, but I want the digits to be exactly 4. Have you seen now? I managed to select this, not this one, because this fulfill this pattern. But if I'm interested in all numbers, I can say like this, just 0 to 9. And the numbers could be 1 or more plus. 1 or more means it could be a single number or more number. Yeah, so I think we are running out of time. I would recommend you to go through this example we have covered most of the methods of regular expression. Maybe if we have time, we can also have a look another time. And word counting here. Okay, let's do some word counting. There's a sentence here. We can work on this one. Okay, yeah, before. Are you still with some left order energy? Can we do this?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, then this will be the last exercise. Yeah, I love teaching. If you do not love teaching, what else can you love? I love Python. If you do not love something which can give you all the capability to develop an application, what else can you love? So here, as you can see, there are lots of love, and you may identify just the love is the most frequent, but even this text is clean. But what if the text was not clear even at the very beginning? I think I left some text which is not clean. So first you have, yeah, for instance, this text. Yep. Maybe I think we can work on this one instead of this one and cleaning it one step. Okay, but this I know, I am the teacher, whatsoever. Okay, let's go this one. Okay, paragraph. Yeah, dot split, and we want to split it at the space. Yeah. And let's see what we got. Each stage, right? Yeah, you got all this. By the way, the sort method works. If you just add sort, something like this, it arranges to, have you seen alphabetical order? Yep, but it takes also a callback function, and we will talk about that, and we don't need to search it now. I think I have to, sort it now. Okay, if you have this, I think the second stage should be counting these words. Yeah, so you have to come up with some kind of a loop, right? But even, I think even before we change it to, it would have been much better to change to 2 lower case. We can just change it to a lower case. Now, as you can see, everything is the same. Yeah, great. So now I can change this to, I call it honest words. We change this paragraph to words. Are you happy with this so far? Are you happy?
Yep.
Yep. So at this stage, you have a collection of words. We change this to this paragraph to words. Yep. Now we have the capacity to do a for honest, a word of words, and let's just console.line. Again, we will have a chance to see each word. Yep. Now it's better to count them, you know? Yeah, how do we count these words? Maybe now, if Julian asked me what data structure to choose, now I know it somehow. It is better to use an object. So I can say word table, maybe a kind of a word table, and I can create a kind of, or frequency table of a word, freq table of the word, and I want it to be an object. Yep. So every time I will inject that to, how do I inject them? Let me just show you. I can say frequent table. No, don't do that. Freq table dot, or not like that. I think this is much better. Word, and maybe I can just assign it to a word. I'm just doing it in a lousy way, and then I will show you. Then we start also cleaning Have you seen we have just make a kind of structure? Yeah, this kind of all, but no, this is not what we want. What we should, counting is much better. Yeah, we count them every time. If a word exists, we count it. If it doesn't, okay, how do we do that? Yes. Then I think this would be if word, if freq table word, if it is found in there, what we should do, we can do some kind of increment. Okay, frequent table. Yeah, I can increment the value. Plus 1. If it doesn't exist, no, can't do that. If it doesn't exist, I just do the first time. I think I'm just deleting it. Okay, now as you can see, kind of, if you see now all an application, we know that the lab should exist how many times? It exists, but the reason here, lab happens 2 times here. Yeah, we should add this together because do you know why we missed this? And because of the dot. So this needs cleaning one step. Okay, so I showed you already. We can add some kind of a cleaning from here. I can first clean this with a replace, and I can do some pattern if there is dot, and then again with G, actually this dot. Dot by itself is a reserved word. I mean, a reserved, I will show you. Dot any character except new line. So we can't use it dot, so we can use this slash and dot. That means, hey, it doesn't have a special meaning. Instead, it's just a dot, it means, and go global. And then we don't replace it with anything. Then with this, actually, we are removing the dot. And now let's just get everything smaller. And now we should get lab 6 times. Yep. Then I think it's better to change this to a function. Okay, const most freq words, whatever. What was the word? Yes. And then we can just drop everything what we have here. And for some reason, and let's just format, my ESLint is not working. And we have to get a text, the text coming from here. So we will pass this as in a parameter, text, and then we return, what do we return? Actually, we return freq table, and then so from here, we have to call most frequent words and paragraph. And we should get the same thing all over again. Yeah, nice. Now we have a very beautiful function, at least that works in some scenario. Yes, but now still you didn't get. You have to sort these, and especially if you should ask maybe descending order, and then you have to slice the first item. And I will leave that part for you. Yes, thank you so much, guys. JavaScript is never ending. We can learn it for a year long and lots of things to cover. But since we are also learning React now together, we will also, explain the JavaScript part while we are learning React. I think I should stop the recording because it's getting too late.